arms, we decode the show. Hidden Easter eggs, lines to know. Three friends laughing, munching snacks. Lois and Clark, we're always coming back. Ooh, ooh.
I'm Molly.
I'm Julie.
And I'm Jen.
And welcome to FOLCs Forever, a Lois and Clark rewatch podcast.
We're three fans who've been loving LNC since 1993.
Each week we'll recap one episode and talk about at least one LNC-related topic.
If you would like to learn more about who we are, how we became folks, and or how we became friends, check out our intro episode.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk about this episode. So good.
I know. You want to see what I got today?
Sure, Joel. What'd you get?
Oh, no, stop it.
There's
my
baby.
I was waiting for a prop.
Kitty.
Holy
Is this better than a prop? I don't
Yeah,
know, but it's
hello.
adorable. Baby kitty.
Get the baby.
And where do I get one?
Story time. Now
I
we
get-
need details.
I'm
Okay.
just fostering, but
Aw.
it's so cute.
Julie's got a baby kitty in her hands. Little
Really?
calico maybe or tortoise shell.
Like a tortie. I don't know if it's a tortie or a calico. It's like all different colors and so cute. Look at its belly.
Oh,
She's being good on
chipmunk.
my lap.
Oh.
This one's gonna be hard to give up because it's adorable.
Oh,
Oh,
why do you need to?
Yeah.
Why can't
I
you keep
know.
it?
Because I don't need more animals.
You could name her. Is it a her?
Her.
Name her Martha.
Martha.
Or just kidding. I don't know.
Martha.
Lois. I don't know. We could. Lexi.
Lexi.
Ugh,
She's
I
so
am
cute.
mad at Lex, but we need to get into that.
Oh my goodness.
Oh God.
Today we're going to be discussing Season 1, Episode 5, Requiem for a Superhero. We also have a special profile on John Shea. Requiem for a Superhero first aired on October 17th, 1993. On that same night, Game 2 of the World Series was airing over on CBS. Philadelphia Phillies versus the Toronto Blue Jays. Toronto went on to become the champions. In theaters, two new releases that weekend were The Beverly Hillbillies and A Nightmare Before Christmas, one of which has become a classic. I'll let you guess which one. Also in theaters that weekend was the movie Rudy, starring Sean Astin. And I don't know about you, but I love that movie.
I love that movie too. It's great.
I haven't seen it.
What?
I
You need to
I
watch
guess I need
it
to add
because
it
it
to
is
my list.
good. It is great.
So good. You don't have to like sports. It's got football, but you don't have to
Okay.
like sports.
That's good to know because I'm not a sports girl.
There's football in it, but like not really. Kind of.
Not
Okay.
I don't
really.
know how to explain it.
Sort of, but not really.
Yeah. Before we get into our more detailed discussion of Requiem, we'll be giving our very own summaries in 16 words or less. And this week we'll start with Jen.
I was so excited to do this that I just did my 16 words or less about 5 minutes ago. So
Me
here's
too.
mine. There are a lot of sweaty robots trying to fight Superman, and Lois has a dad.
Revelation.
Yes. One of two.
Yeah.
Lois has fathers. I decided not to mince words for mine. Mine is boxing, blah, boring, blah, boxing.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Love it. That's pretty good. All right, mine is Lois learns that she is basically Dr. Frankenstein's daughter as they uncover a cyborg boxing scheme.
Aw.
Very
Yours
nice.
is like legit. What happened?
Mine's a legit one. I like Molly's.
Yeah, hers is real life.
It's more along the lines I was thinking. Boxing
That's just
blah.
how I feel. Yeah. Ah, this episode, I tell you.
Oh my gosh, you should see what's on my lap. She's asleep.
Oh, kitty.
It's so cute.
See, she's
That's
going to
the
get us
picture.
through this episode. We
Yeah.
need this cuteness adrenaline rush.
Oh, so cute.
Every LNC episode had a title. Sometimes the titles will be a play on words or a reference to an old movie or song. Requiem for a Superhero is a play on the title Requiem for a Heavyweight, a 1962 movie about an aging boxer, which was based on a 1956 teleplay written by Rod Serling of Twilight Zone fame. And I've never seen this movie or this TV movie, so yeah, but I guess it's kind of good.
It doesn't sound like something I would, it doesn't sound like something I would want to watch.
Yeah, no more boxing. Please.
No more boxing for me, please.
We made it through the episode. That's enough. No more.
We're done.
So our guest stars for this episode included Dennis Arndt, who played Dr. Sam Lane. He was an actor and writer, best known for SWAT, Basic Instinct, and Banditas. He also did a lot of guesting on many different TV series, such as Ally McBeal, Chicago Hope, and Touched by an Angel. And random fun fact, I don't usually include this, but he lived in Ashland, Oregon, and he just passed away a couple months ago. But Molly and I are from Oregon, so it's kind of cool. Like, he's from our state. We also have Matt Rowe, who played Max Menken. He is best known for Child's Play 2, Naked Gun 33 and a Third, and My Blue Heaven. And we will also see him back playing Edward Hansen in Shadow of a Doubt. Joe Sabatino played Tommy Garrison. He helped create the award-winning TV series Necessary Roughness, and he's also known for Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. He did a lot of one-offs on TV shows like Charmed, King of Queens, and Passions, and that's just to name a few. He has a number of credits under his belt. John LaMotta played Ali Dinello. And Julie, you'll like this. He's best known for Alf. He's in 40 episodes. Did you recognize him?
I did.
Nice.
I love Alf.
I thought of you. He's also in Vampire in Brooklyn and American Ninja. And he did a number of TV show guest appearances as well. But the one that I have to mention is Caroline in the City. Love that show. He played Focus Man, whatever that is. I don't remember. I'm going to have to go back and look. We have Dave Sebastian Williams, who was the Ringmaster, and he is best known for There Goes My Baby, Monk, and The Hollywood Knights, and he also did an episode of Punky Brewster. And last we have Jean Spiegel Howard, was the elderly woman. She was in, get this, Apollo 13, Scrooged, Cocoon, and Matilda as Miss Phelps, which that's a good little resume to have.
Those are some good movies. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I knew she looked familiar. She was in 2 episodes of Two of a Kind playing Mrs. Baker, which I don't know if you guys watched that at all. Kind of a cute show. And she will also be returning to Lois and Clark season 4 playing Bertha in episode 9 entitled Ghosts.
Yeah, isn't that funny? We had Leslie Jordan last episode. Now 2 people this episode that are going to repeat. We've got to start keeping track of that in a file somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
Spoiler alert, Dennis Arndt, never again.
No.
Yeah. I liked him. I don't know. I liked him as the dad.
He's certainly a different kind of dad.
It definitely changes drastically from robots, and it stays robots, I guess, but it's very different.
Do either of you have any memories of your first time watching this episode?
I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but I do remember having some serious letdown watching this episode. It was always one of the more boring episodes for me. And here's the thing, after falling in love with the show just a couple episodes earlier, I was anxious for some more waffy scenes and moments, and I felt like this was a total snooze fest. I remember that at this point in the original run, I was craving more, and it was like having a kid have their first taste of sugar, like ice cream, and then only feeding them spinach and creamed carrots. And I was like, just give me more. I know that can be better than this. That's my memory.
I did not watch this episode in its original run. I got it much later, of course, like many of the other first season episodes. And I honestly have no memories of really watching it the first time on tape. It didn't stick out. It was just an episode that I watched and was like, well, check that one off the list. Nothing
Seen
fun.
it now. I'm done.
I'm done. Yeah. Whoop. Okay. I've seen it. We're good. Okay.
For me, this is the episode I remember definitively that I was hooked. Not because it was a good episode, but because I couldn't find a VHS. to record it on. I remember this is the one that happened on, and I ended up recording a home video over it. But it's okay.
Oh,
Or I recorded this over a home video because I couldn't find a blank tape. And then I was like, oh, this episode's terrible. I don't know if that was worth it, but hey, whatever.
Oh dear.
And hopefully my mother never hears that I did that. But I also do specifically remember thinking Dean was pretty freaking hot in that first scene. Yeah, pretty hot playing baseball. That's about the only thing I like from this episode.
Well, we're about to get right into that scene as it comes.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Okay. So we open on an outdoor track. Clark is wearing a tight gray t-shirt and taking a drink out of a drinking fountain when he looks over on the bleachers and sees a baseball, a bat, and a mitt. He smirks and picks them up, obviously brewing some sort of idea. The guy must be bored or have no big stories because he's chewing gum and he's ready to pitch while almost simultaneously up at the bat and waiting in the outfield. He basically plays all by himself, hitting a home run. And I was just wondering if anyone's around because I don't think Jonathan Kent would be too happy with him at this point.
I semi-wonder if this is all a dream because he's, using his superpowers in public again.
Let's hope so. I mean, a guy just ran by, so there's people around that park. Not the smartest. He's not the smartest guy. Floating in the air.
Well, and there are a number of cold opens through the show where the opening has zero to do with the rest of the episode. And I'm kind of wondering if that's, like the bow nose.
Yeah, that's season 1 stuff right there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Service to Dean just so he could be happy doing some sort of sports.
It's a very sportsy episode.
So after the opening credits, we find Perry White sounding frustrated on the phone, trying to figure out how he's going to wrangle up another poker player at the last minute. Just then, the camera focuses on Clark standing outside of Perry's office, and Perry's eyes light up. As he hangs up the phone, he smiles and walks over, trying to make some small talk with Clark and telling him that they don't see enough of each other socially. Perry implies they need to spend more social time together, grab some beers, have a few laughs. Clark is flattered and offers Thursday, but Perry doesn't beat around the bush and tells him the game starts at 9. Clark learns that it's a poker game and admits that he's never been very good at it. Perry just smiles and says, even better.
I think it's funny Clark says here, we spend 10 hours a day together, which that's a long work day. Dang.
That's a very long work day.
But they must work overtime or something.
Well, that's just, he says 10 hours a day together. I mean, what if they're off on assignment? Does that mean they work longer than 10? I don't know what's happening. We know that the Dean and Terry worked, 14-hour days.
So that night, they're all sitting around a poker table, placing their bets. Perry, Jimmy, Lois, and a few random extras to make it look like it's an actual game. Clark is struggling with his hand when Jimmy brings up the idea that Superman would be a great poker player. They all start talking about the ethics of Superman playing a game like that. Jimmy doesn't let down, though, and talks about how he could just x-ray everyone's cards. Do we think this thought hadn't already crept into Clark's head? It's kind of teetering on the edge.
I have 2 thoughts on this. Okay. One is sort of related and one is kind of going off on a tangent. But one thing is, why wouldn't Clark be good at poker? Because not only, I mean, yes, he could x-ray the cards, of course, but I don't think he, ethically, you're not supposed to look at people's cards when they're playing. So I think he wouldn't do that. But what you are allowed to do is to watch for signals in people's change in demeanor and body character and stuff. And Clark could more easily than most people do that. Check for vital signs, listen for heartbeats, change, things like that. So why would poker be difficult for Clark unless it's too overwhelming and maybe he can't decipher that information from everybody? I thought that was strange.
Yeah.
The other thing, okay, Jimmy says that, Superman could use his X-ray vision. And I was like, wait, how does Jimmy know that Superman has X-ray vision? And then I remembered that in our last episode, I'm looking through you, Lois knew that Superman had X-ray vision because she asked him about that can't you just see through the invisibility suits with your X-ray vision? And then I was like, wait, how does everybody know Superman has X-ray vision? Did I miss something? Has that been revealed to the public?
Good point. Maybe they have all read the Superman comic series and they're just familiar. Just kidding. Okay. No, that's a good point. I have no idea. I don't think it's been brought up.
I'm not saying it's a blooper or anything. I'm just saying there must have been an article where Superman revealed that.
Maybe he told Lois in his intro, "Hello, I'm Superman" article.
Yeah. So anyway, that's an interesting thing, but it's canon now. Everybody knows about that.
So he almost takes a peek, but nope, he can't do it. He folds and Perry claws at his winnings, telling Clark that it just takes practice.
Oh, another thing I wanted to bring up, so as I come back.
Go right ahead.
I really liked, to give some nice comments about this episode. I did like the way that they revealed Lois as the camera panned around the table and it showed a couple people and then Clark, and then you saw Lois and she's wearing the beret and everything. I liked how they revealed her, that she was playing as well.
Yeah, she was serious about the game.
In her cute little hat and vest.
And Jimmy wasn't actually playing. He was just there being annoying. I just figure he doesn't have enough money to actually play in this game. But he's trying to learn how.
He's broke.
Perry keeps telling him to shut up and he just keeps going.
And he's wearing that ugly hospital gown looking striped shirt. That thing is that's every time I'm like, it reminds me of a hospital gown.
That's too funny. So now the elevator doors open and out busts Lois, exclaiming how she doesn't need a partner. Perry is right on her heels though.
Partners? No, you and Kim. The experience of the battle-scarred veteran paired with the hunger of the exciting fresh talent.
I am not that scarred, and he is not that excited.
Lois admits that partnership is like marriage. It takes patience and understanding and a willingness to be supportive. Perry's only advice is to fake it. She turns around and there's Clark with a hefty howdy partner. He asks if it should be Kent and Lane or Lane and Kent. Lois says it'll never work and it will be that bad. They head off to Perry's office right after this because Perry wants to see them both.
But they've been partnered up several times already at this point. It just seems like a step back relationship-wise from where they were even in the last episode, where she's back to just, Clark.
They worked together in every single episode at least once so far. So what the heck is happening with partnership?
So they head off to Perry's office right after this because Perry wants to see them both. Lois is pissed because they're getting assigned a story on boxing. And she is wearing the classic Lois window pane button-down blazer, bobbed hair. This look is everything that Lois is built on. Anyway, Perry tells her to just do the story. She asks if this wouldn't have anything to do with her quote-unquote connections. And Clark seems out of the loop. Perry sends them off after asking how her father is, which leads Clark to following Lois out of the office like a lost little puppy dog, asking, "Ooh, is your father a fighter?" Sorry, it was another dog reference, but I had to. So they go to Mencken's gym for the Metropolis Street boxing main event. Clark's looking at trophies and belts, and he's obviously drooling, saying how cool it all is, and Lois is not amused. Clark tries to recall a boxing event, but Lois keeps correcting him about the details because she obviously knows more and has been around it. Clark's just annoyed. She says he's thinking of the fight before Mason moved up in a weight class. He asks how Lois knew that, and she admits that during the Mason-Rodriguez fight, Mason tore a rotator cuff, which was later operated on by Dr. Sam Lane. Lightbulb moment for Clark. Lane? Sam Lane is your father? He's known for building those guys' new hips, knees, etc. And he's widely known in sports.
Clark's passion for boxing in this episode that comes out of nowhere and then is never heard of again. What do you guys think about this?
Yeah. He clearly doesn't know what he's talking about.
That's also true.
No. Yeah.
He seems so into it, though. I'm like, okay, Clark, I mean, sure, you could have all these stats in your head and be all into it, but I don't know. It's a weird thing.
I feel like they just had to do it just to get the storyline. They had to have a connection for the story, but it really didn't make sense.
Yeah.
So Lois then notices Tommy Garrison and wants to go get a statement. They walk over and Lois tries to get his attention. And as Tommy looks over, he's delivered a blow to the face. It seems to piss him off a teeny tiny bit. So he busts out his skills with a Z, and the guy goes flying through the air and into the rails of the ring. P.S. I don't know if it's called rails of the ring. I don't know boxing or fighting or anything. I don't know if that's called a rail, but
The
hope it
ropes
is,
or something.
The
ropes.
Probably the ropes.
With the ropes. I have no idea. Sorry,
fence.
everyone, if you're listening. The things that keep the
stringy
guys
things.
on the stage.
No idea.
Boingy stuff.
The boingy stuff. I say sorry, boxing fans.
I know,
Boxing fans
exactly.
want to stay far away from this episode anyway.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I'm so sorry to all the sports people out there. You could just fill us in. We have no idea. So the guy is probably lacking some vitamin D, and he's angrier than a cat in a bathtub. He's screaming to get these guys out of there. Then Allie comes out waving to them and calls Lois Pumpkin, which surprises Clark. Allie asks Lois if Perry is still cheating at poker, which prompts an eyebrow raise from Clark. Lois introduces Clark as her, the guy that she's working on the story with. Awkward. She's obviously having trouble with it. Clark just tells him that he's her partner. Lois explains that Allie has 4 fighters going up for titles, which is a big, big deal. Allie's face drops, and Lois says they can't get to any of the fighters. Allie suggests Mencken, but Clark says that's the promoter. They want to talk to the fighters. But Allie apologizes. So then that pissed off fighter in the ring comes over saying that if they want to talk to him, Clark needs to get up in the ring. Lois, WTF girl, she's like, go on, Clark, get up there. While Allie is suggesting that maybe this isn't a good idea. Lois says that if he doesn't go up there, she will. So obviously, what do you think's going to happen? He goes up there. Tommy tries to intimidate Clark, throwing out some punches near his face and encouraging Clark to fight back. Lois starts to look a little nervous. Could it be that she cares?
I think she just doesn't want him to get killed.
Yeah.
Because clearly he's going to get killed. He looks serious.
So he keeps throwing out fake punches, mocking the reporter. Lois has finally had it, telling him maybe he should get down from there. But Clark is like, this is what you told me to do this. And Tommy calls Clark a princess, and that apparently is the last straw. Clark shoves him out of the way, and Lois yells out for Clark to stop. But saved by the bell, or rather Mencken, he says that the winner is going to fight Superman, and the eyes of the world are going to be on them, right there in Metropolis. Then he says the gym is off limits to the press, and looks at Allie, telling him that he should have known better. Ruh-roh. Lois hugs Allie and wishes them good luck on Saturday. They exchange pleasantries and leave. Clark picks up Lois's bag and says, "Let's go, Pumpkin." And Lois's jaw hits the floor with a scowl. And he corrects himself, Lois. As they're leaving, they're stopped by Lois's dad getting out of a taxi. Clark introduces himself as Lois's partner on this story. Sam wishes he could help them, but it's not his department. He asks if they're going to have some time for dinner, but Lois can't commit and says maybe, but she's really busy. Awkward conversation is awkward. So now we're seeing Lex on a massive cordless phone and throwing darts. He tells whoever is on the line that a man worth $20 billion and currently the 3rd richest man on the planet, of course, only temporarily, and that he has an additional annual income of about $2 billion, which he breaks down to $5,000 a minute. Dang.
That would be nice.
I mean, I'm jealous.
We also get a mention here of the 2 people richer than him. So he mentions that he's the 3rd richest, which we learned in the last episode. And above him are Albert Chow and Elena Pappas. And he says they're currently number 1 and number 2, and by currently, I mean temporarily.
Right.
What did he mean?
I wondered, what did he mean by that? Like, is he going to overtake them because he's going to become rich, or is he going to kill them because he's evil Lex Luthor?
I don't think killing them would make their estates less rich. I think he wants to be number 1, so he's going to get there somehow.
I just go dark really fast. Sorry.
I mean, judging by what he does in this episode, maybe.
You never know.
Watch out, Elena.
He tells the guy on the phone to solve the problem and that he himself has no problems. He gets up and we see what he's been throwing darts at. A cutout of Superman. Is he really problem-free? I don't think so.
This is the same cutout from the last episode. Did he steal it from Superman Day?
Oh, maybe.
Just to throw darts at it.
And I was wondering, Julie, where did you get your cutout? This is not the same cutout. Yours is from a store, right?
Mine was from the ABC station, the ABC building. Yes.
Julie's looks more regal and more like dun, 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 whereas the one Lex was throwing at he kind of looks kind of goofy.
Yes.
Okay.
But if that's ever available, I will take it.
With the little holes.
Whoever has it.
I know.
Even with the little holes in it. I would buy
That'd be
it.
awesome. Back at the planet, Clark and Lois are sitting at their desks working. Lois is annoyed. She looks over, asking him what he's still doing there. Clark admits he's working on stuff. She tries calling him out that he's waiting for her to talk about it, and open up. And this is why she hates partnerships. She just doesn't feel like sharing. And so he's like, oh, okay. And she just continues to explain that she just doesn't get along with her father and goes into how she used to criticize her, basically using Clark as a little therapy session. I thought that was cute. But she's interrupted by a phone call from Allie, who has news. She tells him to calm down and that she'll meet him to talk. Lois insists on going alone, and Clark obliges, and that kind of shocks her. Maybe being partners isn't such a bad thing after all.
So Lois goes to meet Allie, and she's walking down the street. She walks past, I think, the theater that we've seen a few times on the show. And she gets to a corner and she sees Allie across the street. And she says, Allie. He looks across and sees the crosswalk light turning to, walk. And he starts to go across towards Lois. Then, out of nowhere, a truck comes down the road and takes him out. Lois sees it all happen. It's so sad. Allie is now dead. The truck driver hits Allie and then swerves out of the way as if to not smush Allie also, which I found to be thoughtful.
That's nice. That's
not
so
really.
nice.
Like, sure.
Just
nice, Jen.
Just the
wow.
worst. Just
I'll look
awful.
at the positive side.
All right. So then we go back to Lex's place and he's getting confirmation that the job is done. And we know that he ordered this hit. So that's sad. And then we get a little conversation with Lex. Well, we hear Lex talking to somebody, and he's talking about how he doesn't like having to have people killed because he would prefer to deal with them more creatively. But, sometimes you gotta. And then we realize he's actually talking to his reflection in a mirror.
That monologue is epic because it's so Lex. It gets to the core of who he is as a character.
It's always such an embarrassment. Having to do away with someone, it's like announcing to the world that you lack the savvy and the finesse to deal with the problem more creatively. I mean, there have been times, naturally, when I've had to have people eliminated, but it's always saddened me. I've always felt like I've let myself down somehow.
At the Daily Planet, Lois has been crying because, of course, Allie Danella was her old friend and he got killed right in front of her, dang it. And Clark wonders if it might have been an accident, but Lois is adamant that truck driver had it in for Allie. She doesn't know what Allie wanted to tell her, but maybe it was something about the big fight coming up. I guess we'll never know.
Clark's hair is really sloppy and shiny. It's falling in his eyes a little bit. It looks good, but it's different than it typically looks. I don't know why. Did you
not
notice?
notice?
Maybe it was just me. I don't know.
Lois goes back to Mencken's gym to talk to her dad, and they talk about Allie, and they're sad, of course. But the thing is, they have this conversation totally in the middle of the gym where anyone can hear them. she's like, oh, I saw Allie get hit. He's like, did anyone see you? Well, maybe or maybe not, but now everyone has heard that she was there, anyone who was listening. This is actually this, and second, there's actually going to be another time where they're talking in the middle of the gym about sensitive topics, and I don't get it, but okay. Sam warns Lois to stay away from whatever's going on at this gym for her own safety, I guess. Lois suspects her dad has secrets, so she and Clark decide to break into Sam's office late one night. Lois tries to pick the lock. She's seen Jimmy do it often enough, but she doesn't manage it, so Clark just surreptitiously breaks the dang doorknob off. Like, that's not going to make anyone walking by suspicious.
Not at all. Well, in the script, he was supposed to melt it, so maybe breaking it off is a little bit better than melting.
Yeah.
Wow, and you don't think she would have noticed the melting doorknob?
The stench of metal just...
Maybe.
Okay, well, if we're keeping track of times Clark has broken into a room using superpowers, I think this is number 3. Maybe more.
Talk about ethics.
He's busted down one door with brute strength. He's safe cracked a code door. I know this.
Property damage.
So in Sam's office, Lois and Clark are shining flashlights around and going through Sam's files. They're obviously at it a while because the files start to pile up on a table. And eventually they find some information that shows that certain boxers had mediocre standings until they had surgery, at which point they started to win rounds galore. Interesting. Clark realizes at some point that there's a secret room behind a bookshelf, and he figures out how to open it. And Lois and Clark go inside the secret room and find a bunch of robotic body parts.
Not creepy at all.
And this is where Lois kind of realizes, oh my goodness, my dad's been doing some Frankenstein level somethings.
Shady.
Then Clark hears some people coming. Lois does not hear this, but of course Clark has better hearing. And so he kind of closes Lois in the secret room, goes into the main office and starts, he puts his hands along the wall and starts jogging along the floor. And he basically causes an earthquake. But in my opinion, he goes way overboard because stuff is coming down from the ceilings. And yes, the two guys who were about to come into the office run out of the building and leave, but also, like, he could have hurt Lois.
A little dangerous.
Well, he finally lets Lois out of the secret room, and she's like, oh my goodness, that was definitely an earthquake. That must have been at least a 5. All right, so they're back at the Daily Planet, and Lois is writing about their discovery in Sam's office, and she mentions that if it weren't for the earthquake, this would probably be the #1 story. And Jimmy comes along, and here's this, and he's like, what earthquake? She's like, the earthquake last night. He's like,
If the earth moved for you last night, it must have been something else.
And then they all just let it go. Lois just lets it go, like.
And then he slaps Clark on the back, like,
Oh no, I didn't get that.
He did.
Jimmy, what?
Oh God! Wow, starting rumor. I like that rumor better than the Clark and Kat rumor, though.
Much better.
Is this a good time to mention that Kat is nowhere to be found?
I was wanting, like, where is Kat? What are your theories?
Isn't here in this one, and she also, I think it's Ides in Metropolis later on, which she doesn't in that episode either, and that's also a really bad episode. What does it all mean?
Oh,
I don't think there's any correlation really, but it's just a thing. Something to think about. Okay, so Lois is still writing this story, and Clark actually starts to kind of suggest that maybe Lois shouldn't be writing this story because danger, mostly for her dad's safety. And Lois comes around to his line of thinking, so they go and tell Perry there's no story here after all. And Perry is mad.
He's pissed. Mm-hmm. Like, do we see him pissed ever like this later on in the series?
When Lex takes over the Daily Planet, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's right. I forgot about that one.
Few times.
But this is not typical Perry.
Lois goes and meets with her dad again, and this time she tells him that she wants the truth as his daughters, that she's killed the story, so this isn't about the story, but she wants to know what's really going on. Well, he tells her, "Oh, you killed the story? No. You should go write it," he says. Sam says, "Do what you feel is right, and I will too." So I guess Sam is having misgivings about having made these robotic parts and done all these surgeries, maybe. I don't know if maybe Ali Dinello's death has affected him and made him have dots.
Oh, can I just say
Awesome.
her outfit here is super cute. It's a brown little suit with a white blouse and super adorable stitching. I didn't write a whole lot about it. I loved it. It wasn't typical, but it was also different, but cute.
I was going to say, in the script, there was actually more about the scene with Lois and her father. She's talking about how, like, he doesn't care, how he didn't even come to her journalism award, and how she was all upset looking out and there was an empty chair, and he must not care. And that's when he's like, you think I don't know anything about caring? I do. I wanted to be there, but I had to work. So, a little bit backstory. Poor Lois.
You know, and Lois's issue with her dad is, I feel like there were other shows and movies around the same time doing the exact same thing. Workaholic dad, 98% on your test, not where's the other 2%? I feel like that's a trope that has not just been on Lois and Clark. And
yeah,
I would have liked them to do something a little different with their issues rather than just make them so sort of cliche. But oh well. I mean,
missing her
dance recital and whatever.
her journalism award. Yeah, he says he was working, had an idea, had to try it out, and before he knew it, it was 4 a.m. and he missed it. Inconsiderate, yes, but it doesn't mean he didn't care. Sure. If you cared, you would have been there. That's what I say.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he was hard on her because he wanted her to be the very best version of herself. Like when he talks about she only got a 98 on the test, what happened to the extra 2%? I know that that's really hard, but maybe he just wanted to push her to be.
I mean, he didn't
close to
have to.
perfection.
Look at Lois.
Yeah.
She was,
and maybe that's why
able to do that on her own.
Maybe that's why she turned into a perfectionist, because of how her dad pushed her.
That is interesting. Isn't there an episode later on? I'm trying to remember if this was actually part of an episode. Maybe Julie remembers. Is there an episode later on where she? Yeah. It's like, I think Lucky Leon. They're at the date and she says, she says something about how, maybe her dad, by being the way he was, pushed her into journalism and pushed her to become the best reporter she could be.
Yeah, that was definitely during the date.
There's other ways to encourage your offspring.
Yeah. But nobody's perfect, including her dad, obviously, because he kind of messed that up. But maybe he had good intentions. That's what I'm trying to get at. Maybe his intentions were to push her just to continuously do better. I don't know.
Let's not forget, he doesn't come to her wedding till Lex. Just saying, he's not there for her ever.
Rude.
Well, it is till Lex. Did he come to the? Did he come to the one in the clouds?
He came to the one in the clouds after he got his plastic surgery.
Yeah,
the angel,
after the plastic surgery.
Gosh, I quit.
And that's our episode.
Okay, so we're back at the Daily Planet, and Perry is so angry that he has decided to cancel Lois and Clark's partnership. He assigns Lois to write an article about the auto show and assigns Clark to write a story about a police academy graduation. And Lois says something to the effect of,
Well, I've seen it before, but I've never been in it.
What's that?
Carrie's doghouse.
That was a cute scene because it kind of gave off that he does want to be her partner, and she kind of smiled. And
Ugh.
It was almost like she reciprocated a little bit, even though she never wanted to admit it before. It was a cute moment between the two because now they can't be partners. So it almost makes it more desirable, you know?
Yeah. You don't get a scene of her going off and being like, yes, thank goodness. No.
Yeah,
She's a
like,
little
not my
regretful.
way.
All right, then we're going to cut to Lex's penthouse where Max, Mencken, and Luther are happy that they got to Allie in time because nothing was written in the planet. Max goes on to boast that everything they dreamed about is coming true. But Lex just says it's a start, which then confuses Max because he's clearly not thinking large enough, thinking all of this is just to win fights. Lex has invested millions in hopes of building an invincible army of supermen under his control. Yikes. That's terrifying.
He's evil. He's so evil.
Now, knowing the plan, Max goes to see Sam and tells him that he needs to make them stronger and that they're going into mass production. But Sam's had enough and wants out. This is not why he developed these limbs. But Max threatens him, basically saying he's got a lifetime contract just like Allie did, and that he'd hate to have to waste him too. Mm-mm.
So basically, Mencken did kill him. It's revealed.
Yes. So then we have Sam standing alone on the street corner. Before he's joined by Lois and Clark, he reaches into his pocket for a micro cassette recorder, which plays the confession from Max and hands it to Lois, tells her to write the whole story, and walks away. Lois runs after him, gives him a big hug, and tells him to be careful. He kisses her on the forehead, turns, and leaves. Lois collects herself before turning around to Clark, clearly embarrassed for her display of emotions, and tucks her hair behind her ear. Aw.
I noticed that Clark didn't really know where to look, and he almost seemed awkward trying, like he didn't know how to react to her emotions.
Yeah.
And it was a cute moment.
Yeah, he was witnessing kind of what should have been maybe a private moment, but
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
Okay, now we're back in the planet. Perry is asking Lois for the auto show piece that he assigned her, but she says she doesn't have it and has something else that she's been working on. He's clearly not happy and starts lecturing her until he realizes what she's been working on.
What is this? Oh, boy. That'll be the day Lois Lane will back down off of a story. You've been funning with me, haven't you, huh? Pulling your old editor's leg. But you see, I knew about it all along. You all ought to be ashamed of yourselves for what you've been thinking.
Lois actually points to Clark to give him some credit as well, which I thought was pretty nice growth for her. And we're only in like the 5th episode or something. A few episodes ago, I think she probably would have completely taken full credit. So I thought that was pretty cool of her to be like, hey, him too.
Yeah.
But of course, Clark has to show off and hand in the other story as well, the police academy graduation. Lois reminds Perry that if they hurry, they can get this into the afternoon edition, and Perry yells,
Copy! Take this downstairs right away. And tell them they can take as much room as they want.
Yes, sir.
Wingate!
Yes, sir.
Get sales on the phone. Tell them I want TV spots, radio spots, skywriting, the whole 9 yards.
You got it.
Let Metropolis know that Lane and Kit are the greatest writing team since, Woodward and Bernstein. And they can read about it in the Daily Planet.
Perry's excitement level here is off the
ooh,
charts.
way off the charts.
He has
is
been
yelling.
drinking Red Bull. I don't know if Red Bull's invented yet, but he's been drinking something.
Yes.
He goes from one extreme to the other.
Yeah, he's way too excited. He's almost scary.
Yes, and the whole time, like, Lois and Clark are just looking back and forth at each other and giving them, like, smiles, and they're so cute. Cute and adorable.
Cute.
Then we have to go back to Lex, of course. Lex is reading the paper. The headline screams, Boxing Commission meets on Robo Scandal. The paper is lowered by Lex. Max is with him, unsure of what to do. Luther says to Max that he needs him to abduct Lois in order to bring Sam out of hiding so he can kill him. With him dead, there are no witnesses. Cut to the boxing ring. The ringmaster addresses the crowd and lets him know the event is canceled. The fighters have been placed on indefinite suspension. The crowd starts to boo, but Tommy Garrison enters the ring saying he's the greatest of all time. And No one can change that, and he wants Superman. As Lois and Clark head for the fight, they run into Luther in the Daily Planet lobby. Mencken drags Lois away at gunpoint, and Clark and Lex take off in the opposite direction to go for help. Max continues to guide Lois outside when Superman shows up, but relief quickly turns to alarm as Lois yells, "Superman, behind you!" He turns just in time to be on the receiving end of a punch, landing square on the jaw. Superman falls to the ground while the two fighters keep him busy. Mencken again grabs Lois and resumes their trek at a quicker pace. Superman quickly recovers, pushes them against a chain link fence. Then he rips the fence away from the pole, wraps it around the fighters, and sends them spinning away like a top.
Okay, this is very confusing to me, this part. Just a few minutes ago, the fighters, when they found out they couldn't fight, were all mad and they were storming out of the locker room or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like, those same fighters are outside helping with this whole thing. Are they at the boxing ring now? Are they at that building? Are they outside the Daily Planet? Anyone know? I assumed that they were.
That kind of confused me too. Like, were they boxers that were going to be in the fight, or are they just other boxers? I wasn't sure.
Thought that I recognized at least one as one was coming out of the locker room mad and then outside helping. I could be wrong. I don't want to rewatch it ever to find out. But my whole thing was like, if they're at the boxing building now, not that anything could make any less sense or more sense or whatever. Like, not that this would ever change my rating of the episode or anything, but okay. My main issue is how long it takes Superman to get there and rescue Lois.
Yeah.
I'm mad about it. I'm mad about it.
Because he's not fast enough. Well, and I have a question too. And this is just maybe super logistics, like as far as hero stuff is concerned. So their whole thing is steel versus steel. But how can a bullet bounce off of Superman, but a steel hand will knock him over? I just don't understand the logic. Is there... And I don't claim to be, I'm not a Superman power freak. I don't follow all of the Superman powers.
Yeah, I didn't understand why Superman kept getting kind of knocked over in this episode, because all they are robotic arms powered by tiny motors, apparently. There's no kryptonite. Right. And even if he was caught off guard, I could maybe buy that one time, but it happens a couple times, where it happens once outside right before he does the fence thing, and then it happens in the ring. And it doesn't, I don't buy it. It's not believable.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Anyway, do go on. I could be here all day talking about how I know none of it makes sense, but
I know. Well, and as for like Superman being late, I think, well, in the script, I know I was getting confused because it's all out of order. I think that they edited it a little bit different. In the script, they had Superman at the ring already, and that's why he was late saving Lois. But that didn't make sense, so I think that they switched it. It was a little confusing because all the scenes were all jumbled around in the script, which made it really confusing. And now I don't even know where I'm at. Okay, at the fence.
Do you have that prop?
The fence? No, I don't have the
two
fence.
guys inside.
That would be awesome. Like two fake guys, two little mummies or something. Lex catches up with Mencken and shoots him, earning Lois's gratitude for saving her life. Superman arrives a little too late and looks at Lex angrily and suspiciously, maybe, as he rubs it in that he got there first. Just then, he hears Garrison yelling, "Superman! Oh, Superman!" Garrison spins around to find Superman standing behind him. He takes off his robe, ready to fight. Superman asks, "What's your pleasure?" And Garrison said, "A prize fight. Marquis of Queensberry rules." I had to look this up because I know nothing about boxing. Does anybody know what that means?
I had to. I looked it up for part
look
of
it up?
my segment. Yeah. What did you find out?
I found out that the Queensberry rules are a set of rules aimed to make boxing fair, decided by skill and endurance rather than wrestling or other tactics. These rules formalized modern boxing, particularly by requiring the use of padded gloves and establishing rules for the conduct of a match.
Are either of them wearing padded gloves in this match, you ask?
They are
No.
not. No, not at all.
So rude.
But Superman basically agrees to his terms, bows, and Garrison instantly breaks those rules by punching him in the face, sending him soaring down to the floor. Yeah, no boxing gloves. Is that a goof or was that a fake out? I'm not really sure. So there's an older woman. Wait, Bertha Emery? Is her name Bertha?
Yes.
It could be Bertha.
This is the elderly woman.
We don't know her name.
Maybe.
I'm just going to call her Bertha.
Okay, do it.
She's credited as elderly woman, but I think we should
Elderly
call her
woman.
Bertha. Yeah.
Bertha likes boxing. Bertha Emery leans into Superman. You hurt, Superman? Nah, they just caught me off guard, that's all. And she says sternly, keep your left up. Superman gets to his feet. When Garrison realizes the cheers are not for him, he turns and in utter amazement sees Superman unfazed. Superman approaches Garrison and makes no attempt to block his punches, which have no impact whatsoever. Superman then acts like he's going to punch him, but only hits him with one flick of a finger, knocking him out. Garrison falls back into the ropes, and the crowd goes wild.
And permanent brain damage has probably been done.
Yeah.
I don't care if it was a flick, you're Superman, and you just knocked him out cold. He's not going to be okay.
No.
That's a head injury.
He didn't look okay. Has he ever hit anybody else?
Yeah. Oh, so far?
Yeah.
Later on, yeah.
I'm thinking so far. I don't think he has. He's grabbed people, but like violent. Not that that's violent. It was a finger, but he did knock him out. So that's kind of violent.
I think that seems violent. I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be funny, but it's like.
Okay, now we have a scene which Jen probably likes. Lex pours champagne into 2 glasses to celebrate with an unknown companion. He says he knew that the robotics project was lost. He knew he had to lose Max, but by waiting, he was able to gain the gratitude of Lois Lane, who now owes him her life. And he loved the face that Superman gave when he was late. That's a delightful bonus.
The evening started poorly, but I have to say, I took a lemon and made champagne.
He places the glass on the floor for his friend, a cute little dog. You think it's a pit bull boxer breed kind of dog, but it was cute.
It is an American Staffordshire Terrier. And they're known for being playful, friendly, and highly trainable. But do not give dogs champagne. There's sugar and alcohol. Dude, don't do it. It can be fatal. Liver damage. Don't do it.
Yes.
Jen, how do you think the trainer got the dog to do its little head tilts?
Probably the easiest way to train this would be to capture it. You would take a behavior that your dog already does. For instance, if my dog tilted its head when you made a certain sound, then you would make the sound to capture the behavior and then reward the behavior. And eventually you would pair it with a command and they would connect the dots and you just make it a little more difficult as time goes on. As far as making the dog look in different directions, you can get that behavior a couple of different ways. So your dog could be trained to look at a mark where you just train it to look at something and reward it for that. And the other way would be to have the dog looking at you and changing your position, which is actually probably easier to have them look at a mark, which seems weird, but in my opinion, it's just easier.
Oh, Julie's showing off her kitty cat again.
Kitty cat.
He's distractingly adorable.
Oh my goodness. You need to keep him.
No.
You can name him Mencken.
Man, I thought it was a
Mencken.
girl.
This episode.
Mencken.
Oh, her.
But she's a girl.
She's a
Mencken the
lady.
girl cat.
No, Menken's not
Lucy.
nice.
Lucy.
Lucy. Oh,
I'll just name her Cat.
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 Cat. Does she have a beauty mark?
She
Does it
did.
disappear? Does it disappear from
it
time
moves.
to time?
So, what are your thoughts about Lex having a dog that we never see again? Did he get a dog to have somebody to talk to?
Yeah, I think
earlier he was talking to himself.
I think there's a rent-a-pet situation in Metropolis where you can borrow a companion for an evening. Or maybe he returned Fox, the bird, traded it in for a dog, and then he'll trade this one in for a bag of ice so he can have an ice bath. And I don't know. Lex is so weird.
Yeah.
Trade in the pogo stick.
Yeah. What happened
There
to
should just be a
Faust?
library of things. A library of things at in
Lex's.
Metropolis. You can just get random pogo sticks. You can get a dog for an evening.
Well, he's about to have a really high emergency vet bill. You hear the dog lapping it up.
Yeah, you
Maybe
hear
it
it.
didn't have
He's drinking it.
It was probably chicken broth or something.
That's what I
Ew.
figure.
I've used chicken broth for dog videos.
Or like, did Lex really feed the dog champagne? Meanwhile, Lex ordered a hit on Lois's longtime friend earlier in the episode. But as long as he didn't poison the dog, we're good, you know?
I know. But the dog thing will make me mad, but
No, I know. He's a bad man, though. He's a bad man all around.
Mhm.
He's a villain. I want everyone to know this.
Yes.
I can't see him being nice to a dog and like snuggling with it or playing with a dog.
And that's how you know someone's a villain, is if they don't like animals. Just have to say that.
I don't know how you can not love animals.
So cute.
All right. We have another scene to go. Lois and Clark watch as Perry goes over their latest piece of writing. No criminal charges are being filed against Dr. Lane, and Lex has even offered to testify as a character witness before the Medical Ethics Board. What a good man. As Clark is just rolling his eyes. Like, whatever.
Oh, I think we skipped over the part right before Lois got kidnapped where Lex said to Lois that he was going to ask Sam Lane to maybe help. He was going to help Sam Lane somehow in his career, some legitimacy there. And so all these things are stacking up for Lex with Lois's graces in this episode. Grr.
Which we do not like. Lois asks if they are full-time partners, and Perry says he doesn't want to overdo a good thing. Only when the time is right and only on special stories. I feel like they partner on every single episode, so I'm not sure that's really that true. Whatever. He thinks their story is a terrific follow-up piece, but asks where Clark was during all of it. Clark is offended and sulking. He even turns down Lois's invitation to dinner and Perry's invite to the poker game that night, stating he has other plans. Turning down Lois for dinner? What?
Yeah. What's up, Clark?
Well, she did. I mean, what she did earlier when Lex shot Mencken and she just brushed right past Superman to say, you saved my life to Lex. Like, it totally ignored Superman. I would also like to point out that I don't think she had been like hostage for the last half hour and had never really been in danger of being shot. So did he really save her? I mean, he didn't really save her because he actually murdered the guy. We know that. But why should she think? I don't know. I can see why Clark's sulking because I'm sulking.
Yeah. Also, when Lex did show up, did you notice the first thing out of her mouth was Superman? But she was calling Superman to Lex because Superman wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
I think it was something like he said Lois, and then she goes Superman, and then she sees it's Lex, and then Superman comes on the scene, but Lex has already done it. So, boo.
So Clark states he has other plans. What are his other plans? Apparently, going to Mencken Gym after hours It's dark, he's alone, and he's punching a bag at super speed, letting out his frustration. So, did he break into this place?
Broke in and broke stuff.
Right? It's dark, there's no lights on, and he's just breaking all their equipment and not giving a crap. Jeez.
This ending is dumb. I'm just gonna say it. It's dumb.
Except for the music. I like the music.
What was the
'Cause
music?
I think it's just a Jay Gruska kind of music, but I think it's the same kind of little ditty they use in Tempest Fugitive. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's the same one, and I like it.
What did you think about his jump roping skills?
He's as good as any 9-year-old in the 90s, I'll say.
No, he's not bad for a mild-mannered reporter.
Ooh, there's that again.
They like bringing that up.
And that is the episode. As he jump ropes away.
And he could have been having dinner with Lois to the music. But no, we have to get that jump
I'm glad
rope.
he didn't, because if he's going to be in such a bad mood when they have their dinner, like that wouldn't be any fun for anyone. So
No.
True. She might have cheered him up,
I
though. Maybe.
I just want to know if he got a membership to that gym or if he just broke in, because nobody else was there and the lights were off, and I'm very confused. I've never seen a gym in the dark.
Right. Well, and it was highly suspicious lighting, too. There was like a spotlight on
the spotlight
in the middle, right where he happened to be working out. It's almost like he's on a TV show. Weird.
I'm just gonna hope that there aren't any cameras in there, because he is just using his powers out in the open there, and usually I would assume that there's cameras. So not smart again.
In 93 though.
Maybe not in 93. Maybe not.
That's true. We forget how soon we forget that technology hasn't always been around like that.
I mean, if there were security cameras, they would have caught them breaking in, or earlier on in the episode, maybe. Or maybe they were all broken during the earthquake, right?
Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Man, Clark sure broke a lot of stuff at that gym in this episode.
Whoever
goes out of business.
Whoever's coming in the morning is going to be like, what the hell happened?
This is the worst shift ever. Fix all this stuff.
The doorknob, they left the office a mess. He did the earthquake. He he flicked the boxer guy, and then he punches all the punching bags. So, yeah.
And he rips up a fence.
Am I missing it? Yes.
Get it under
Lots of
control,
damage.
Clark.
Superman better have some good insurance.
Was there anything you wanted to talk about further?
No.
We hate boxing. There you go.
Yeah.
This was our first episode of the series with no Martha and Jonathan at all.
Boo.
Oh, wow.
Maybe that's why I don't like it.
And I actually don't think we're going to see them again till Green Glove Home. So we have a few episodes more without them. Also, no Cat, as I mentioned earlier. This is the first of many examples, unfortunately, of people from Lois's past that show up and appear once and never seen again. Uncle Mike, Linda King, Molly Flynn, and this version of Lois's dad, plus, of course, Allie.
Well, Allie only because he got killed. He can't go back.
Still, though.
Yeah, no, for sure. Counts.
What about Ian?
Uncle Ian? Who I don't think exists.
I don't think so.
That's Clark's. That's Clark's uncle.
Yeah, that's Clark's
uncle. Yeah, with the bookshelf.
Never heard of Uncle Ian before. No.
Yeah. I was like, did he appear and I missed it?
I did want to say that I appreciated Terry's acting in this episode, especially right after Allie's death. It wasn't quite as many tears as later on in the series when she thinks someone else has died, but still, Terry did a good job.
It was good. Yeah.
She's a good crier.
There were parallels with this performance and the other one, Molly, that you're talking about, without giving away, but the gangster episode. There are similarities in the way she acts and presents herself that I noticed.
For sure.
It's good.
When planning this podcast, we decided on a number of things we each wanted to focus on in every episode.
One of my jobs is to talk about any real-life people, places, or events that were mentioned in any episode. There were a handful in this one. There was a mention of Dr. Frankenstein, a character in the 1818 novel by Mary Shelley, and he will be mentioned on L&C again. We also got a nod to Woodward and Bernstein, Bob and Carl, the reporters who investigated and reported on the Watergate scandal back in the 1970s, and I think they also get mentioned again. Jimmy references Abbott and Costello, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello, and Martin and Lewis, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis. We also got a brief mention of Detroit, a city in Michigan, USA.
All right, so now it's time for our acronym of the week, and I was saving this one for this episode. Our acronym of the week is WHAM, WHAM, which stands for Wistful, Heart-Wrenching, Agonizing Moment. And we used this back in the day online, which was WHAM was used liberally to describe any moment in which our favorite characters were made to feel particularly bad, but it could be also used when a plot caused us, the viewers, to feel sadness or rage, regardless of how the characters on screen were feeling. So in our Strange Visitor episode, we told you about wafts. Whams are basically the opposite. And there were a couple whams in this one. What scene comes to mind for you guys as being kind of a wham here?
When Lex saves Lois and Superman is too late to get there. And so her little heart eyes transfer from Superman to Lex was a wham for me.
Mm-hmm. She didn't even look at him. It was so sad.
And the dog getting champagne.
Well, okay. For me, it was Allie getting run over by a car right in front of Lois.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely a wham.
Jen, will you tell us, were there any animals in this episode? Or tell us more about the animals in this episode.
So there is a dog. Surprise. Lex is pouring two champagne glasses and talking to someone, and then you suddenly see this American Staffordshire Terrier. And so, yes, there is one dog. There is one dog. I was happy to see it. It made me happy. I do like seeing dogs on the screen. I was so excited. I was just mad that he would do that to a dog. How rude.
Sometimes when watching this episode, I can't remember like which order is it that the dog, which time is he looking in the mirror. So I always get excited when I'm like, oh, dog goes last, but that's okay. All right, it's time for What the Hell Was Lex Talking About This Week? And you know what? Lex didn't make any literary or historical references, but we definitely learned a few things about him in this episode, with neither Nigel nor Asabi hanging around. Poor Lex, I say that facetiously, seemed a bit depressed, talking to his reflection and the dog and throwing darts at the cardboard Superman, and his conversation about, you know, just how Superman is a problem or not, I don't know, but or how he doesn't like to deal with people by just having them killed. Boy, that's sure disappointing for poor Lex to have to do that. Anyways, we also learned that he wants to overtake the two richest people in the world and be number one. And as we mentioned earlier, we learned that he makes about $2 billion annually. I did the math on this with an actual calculator, and if you actually divide $2 billion into days, weeks, months, it actually amounts to more like 3,800 a minute rather than 5K, but he's still pretty close. I mean, it's fine. Still, we hate him for it. So anyways. Jen, what is your vote for the wildest excuse Clark makes in this episode?
Well, we had three that they were good enough to write down. So the three options that I had were she and Clark break into the office and she tries to get the lock because Jimmy showed her how, but then he pops the doorknob off and she thinks she did it on her own. That was cute. I don't know that it is my top choice, But the other one is they go through files and training logs and medical reports, and Clark x-rays behind the bookshelf and sees the robots and blames it, knowing that the bookshelf opens on the fact that his Uncle Ian has the same setup in his den. Also cute, but he doesn't have an Uncle Ian that we know of, and probably doesn't have that setup in his den.
Who would?
Most likely no.
I think my top excuse out of these 3 that I wrote down is this last one. So when he hears them coming, this is all happening in that room. He goes and creates the earthquake, and therefore, Lois thinks that there was an earthquake of a 5, and the bad guys go running. It was disastrous for the building that they were in, but it seems to get them through. So I'm going to blame it on the earthquake that destroyed everything.
I know there's other times where he does unsafe things to get them out to further whatever he needs to do. I'm blanking on what they are at the moment. So now we come to the end of our episode discussion. On a scale from A+ to F-, what grade would you give this episode?
I was hovering between, oh gosh, I hate being the first because I feel like, I don't know what you guys are going to say. I was hovering between a D+ or a C-. And so I'm going to go with the C- because of the random dog that didn't even make sense, but it gave me the push because there's a dog in the episode. They become partners. There's some mildly cute scenes between Lois and Clark toying with the idea of partnership, but we've kind of seen them doing that for how many weeks now, just without the label. So it wasn't that big of a stretch to call them partners. I did like this Sam Lane, and it was nice to see Lois and her dad eventually work out some of the wrinkles in their relationship, but overall, it was a lot of boringness, and the ending, other than the dog, didn't give us a whole lot. Sometimes we get a little button, but this was, I don't know, Lex saves Lois, and they both have hurt egos, and it ends on a down. So it just didn't land with me, but good dog.
All right. This episode is a straight up D for me. My first poor rating, really.
Ouch.
So I did not hate the episode by any means. I don't hate any first season episode. I don't hate any second season episode. Later on, we're going to go a little lower, but season 1, this is probably one of the 2 lowest. For me, it's just a useless episode. We don't advance anything as far as I'm concerned. I mean, yes, we meet Lois's dad, but then we never see this version of the dad again. Yes, they become partners, but no, they don't. Perry doesn't even, it's not even permanent. And yet, like Jen mentioned, they have already done partnerships. So it's like, that's the plot. And then it's never seen again. I like the poker scene at the beginning. I hate all the boxing scenes. I hate how Lex saves Lois. It just is such a pointless episode that doesn't help the series at all. So I'm just going to put it in a box. I'm not saying I'll never watch it again. I'm sure I will, but what was the point, really? That's all I have to say.
I think we're all on the same lines here. I gave it a D+. I just, again, don't like the boxing, just like all of you guys said. And it just doesn't feel like anything really happened in this episode. It feels like a step back in their relationship where we're now back to where Lois doesn't see him as an equal. Where in the even just the episode before she was, and they were starting to be more friendly. And yeah, basically that's about it. Nothing of real importance happens in the episode. There weren't any real cute parts other than the poker scene. And I'm just not a fan of sweaty boxers. And the dog. The dog was cute. Yes. Sorry. The dog will bring it up to the D+.
There would have to have been like 20 dogs to cancel out the sweaty boxers.
Yeah, no. The sweaty boxers are no. No.
Jen, which guy did you say comes back in another episode? I can't remember.
Max Menken comes back in Shadow of a Doubt. which I have no idea what episode that is.
Oh, not a
Doesn't
good
he
one.
wear like a mask in that one? You can't even really see his face that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I think that's who it is. Yeah, probably.
All right. Well, this episode gave us a lot of information, bad or good, about Lex Luthor. And we thought this would be a good opportunity to do a little profile on our Lex, Mr. John Shea. So take it away, Jen.
Okay, folks. Today I'm going to talk to you about someone that you definitely know. A brilliant actor, the kind of actor who shows up, nails the role, disappears, and leaves you wondering, why isn't this guy in literally everything? His name is John Shea, and trust me, he's way cooler than you remember. Born in New Hampshire in 1949, population a moose and some very proud parents, John probably came out of the womb with a script in one hand and a monologue in the other. He did the smart thing early on. He hit Bates College and then the Yale School of Drama. Anyway, early in his career, Shea starred in this heavy political thriller called Missing with Jack Lemmon and Sissy Spacek. I looked everywhere to try to find this movie to watch, but it is really hard to locate. I did watch the preview, though, and it looks really good. So if you've seen it, let us know how it is. Apparently, John held his own like a pro, and it really put him on the map.
I wonder what he looked like when he was little. Well, he wasn't that young then, but
Yes.
That's
like
he's
10
in the
years
cover art.
previous.
he was
That's
a
only
baby.
10 years.
Yeah. He's in the cover art for the actual movie. It's his face.
Nice. We should all watch this movie, guys. Well, no,
Yes.
I don't want to watch this movie, but I want to watch something where he's younger.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It looks like a really good movie. I'm not usually into political thrillers, but I kind of have been digging them lately, even though this one looks a little dated. So anyway, but if you're like me, and I know you are, you probably remember him best as a very particular villain, Lex Luthor. Yes, in Lois and Clark. John's Lex wasn't just evil. He was charming, slick, dangerously smart, and he had great hair, which, let's be honest, felt like a direct insult to every bald Lex Luthor that came before. But it worked. On playing the 90s version of Lex, John is quoted as saying, "In our time, villainy is more subtle. The bad guys wear designer suits and shake hands. I thought that Lex should look like Cary Grant, but have a hidden evil agenda. He's suave but psychotic, charming yet corrupt, and I get to keep my hair." Now, not to give too much away, so warning, 1993 spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the show before, cover your ears. We do get to see Lex bald. So which version do you guys prefer?
Definitely not bald. No.
Not bald, dressed like a grandpa in a wheelchair. That is creepy.
That was awful. Yeah. But it was cool to see them do the bald thing with John, because it is such a classic Superman idea, is that Lex is bald. And this show actually does go there later on. When he was cast in the role of Lex, he went out and bought 3 volumes of Nietzsche and basically discovered that Lex Luthor is a modern Superman who basically made himself. Now, fast forward a few years, sci-fi fans may have caught him leading the charge in Mutant X, basically like a Canadian cousin of the X-Men with plenty of leather jackets and slow motion fight scenes. Have you guys seen it?
I have not.
Mm-mm.
So in Mutant X, John played Adam Kane, the team's morally conflicted brainiac with a mysterious past. Think Professor X meets Apple Genius Bar. Some of his other credits include, but are definitely not limited to, Lady Grey, 6 episodes of Gossip Girl, Blue Bloods, See Jane Run, The Good Wife, Law and Order, Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, 8 is Enough, and Sex and the City. Have you guys seen any of these?
Well, See Jane Run was one that I had on tape, and I watched that one several times. I think I recommended it to Jen. I hope it wasn't terrible, because it's been a while.
I watched it. It was kind of good. It was I wrote down it was a little Wanda Detroit, because there was amnesia and villain and trying to rewrite history. It was a little depressing, but he plays a good bad guy.
He's bad in that one, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know that he's bad, but eventually you kind of figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
And here's a fun piece of information. He also screen tested for the role of Indiana Jones. Did your brain just explode?
Can you picture that?
Yes. I can, actually. And I love Indiana Jones as is, but he gives off some of the same vibes. I'm glad they cast who they did, but I could also see John Shea.
I was listening to Blank Check, the podcast, Blank Check with Griffin and David, literally like last week, and they name dropped John Shea while I was listening to the Raiders of the Lost Ark episode that they did. And they're like, John Shea, Lex Luthor. I'm like, what? We're literally doing a podcast about this.
Did you know that this was a thing? Did you know that he screen
I
tested
knew it in the
for
back
it?
of my mind, but it wasn't like something I would have recalled, probably. No, apparently
Thought it was
him,
wild.
Tom Selleck, and Harrison were the three that actually went on camera auditioning for
Mhm.
that.
Yes. I mean, Harrison, best choice, but
I love
close
Indiana
second.
Jones. Yeah.
Close second. But here's the twist. He's not just a screen guy. John Shea is also a theater nerd, and this is something I personally love about him. He's a director, a writer, a festival founder. He was a founding member of the Nantucket Film Festival and also serves as the artistic director of the Nantucket Theater. He basically lives in Nantucket part-time, like the artsy uncle who's always reading Chekhov by candlelight and offering you a glass of something aged oak and thoughtful. And somehow the man has kept working consistently decade after decade. So he might not be a household name, but he is in your favorite show, your mom's favorite movie, that one indie film your cousin made you watch at Thanksgiving. And every time he shows up, says 3 lines, and makes everyone else in the scene look like they're rehearsing. Actor, director, drama ninja, and the very best Lex Luthor, if I do say so myself.
And I wasn't planning on this, but Julie, do you want to tell us about the time you met him?
Oh, yes. I did actually get to meet him like maybe 12 or so years ago. He was super nice, like the nicest guy. He talked about how he just loved working on the show. He didn't really want to leave it, but the distance from where he was living in New York was not the greatest. So, yeah. And then he wanted to come back for the season finale, but for some reason they didn't bring him back for that. I don't know what happened, but
Series finale
Yeah.
or?
not the series finale. It was the second season finale.
Oh, okay. Where the
Which,
one
you know,
where
Oh,
Nigel
hey.
snuffs it. Okay.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Could have worked that in.
Yeah.
oh, they
They
could have done
put it
something.
in there. Yeah. Thought that was kind of
Interesting.
interesting. Super nice dude. I wore my crew jacket and had him sign that, so that was pretty
Aw.
cool. He was all excited about seeing the jacket. Took a photo with him in the jacket, and Dean ran over and like photo bombed it, which is a great. It's a
Aw.
great photo. So that was a fun day.
I can't
my
believe
goodness.
12 years ago.
I know. It doesn't feel
would
like that long ago.
Not have thought that. That seems more. Of course, I wasn't there, but my memory of it seems more recent. Weird.
He seems like he's such a
Yeah.
nice guy, and I want to go see a play of his.
Yes, that
I
would
think
be
that would
very
be so
cool.
cool. So,
He
you guys
was-
want to go sometime?
Yeah.
We find
I
one.
rem- I remember I also got a photo op with him, and he was laughing because I was like, I can't hug a villain, so we have to we have to do the whole back-to-back arms cross thing. I was like, I can't hug a villain no matter how nice you are.
That's
Which
the
was
best
funny.
picture, though.
I
love
do
that
like
picture.
the photo.
The story's clear. Superman's back, and we're all here.
Thank you to everyone for joining us today. Please be sure to subscribe to this podcast on the platform of your choosing. And if you're feeling extra generous, leave us a review. If you're planning to watch the show alongside us, the next episode we'll be covering is episode 6, I've Got a Crush on You. All right, so we'll see you next time.
Wait a minute.
You can find us on Instagram or Blue Sky as Folks Forever. That's FOLCS FOREVER. Or you can visit our website at folksforeverpod.wixsite.com/podcast. And until next time, please enjoy this bonkers little ditty.
Lois finds a truth untold, a father's scheme, a heart turned cold. Cyber fists and metal pride, in the shadows secrets collide. One finger's all it takes to prove strength is a force you can't remove. Heroes rise, the crowd will sing. Superman rules the boxing ring. Sam Lane's path drew lines of greed. Machines were made to serve his need. But light will burst through darkest sin when the man of steel steps in. The roar of cheers, hearts hit the floor. All the power, who needs more? He swings with ease, a titan's grace. Opponents fall, justice in their place. One finger's all it takes to prove strength is a force you can't remove. Heroes rise, the crowd will sing. Superman rules the boxing ring. Sam sees his past in Lois' eyes, regret and pain, no disguise. Through iron fists, a lesson learned, a father's love can still return. Sam sees his past in Lois' eyes, regret and pain, no disguise. No disguise. Through iron fists, a lesson learned, a father's love can still